Okay, so once we get the tour done, remember the tour is already on the website. So if you've watched the tour, once we get them back to the desk, we're going to go over the membership rates with them. So when we open this up, it's going to have all the information for membership. But this second shelf, it's going to be your membership price sheets. We're going to pull one out here. And then we're going to go over the memberships with them. And so when we go through it, we're going to just kind of present the rates to them. Now, before I present it, I want to explain to you why it's set up the way it's set up. Just kind of visualize this. Anytime anybody buys anything, it can be a car, it can be a furniture, whatever. Usually, you're always going to see the highest price first. And the reason for that is most people are always looking for a discount, and so we're not any other. Our highest price is going to be up top, which is a month-to-month membership, and then our discounts come behind that. And so when you're reading that, the reason for that is anytime you give a price. Let's say I'll give you an example of one of our competitors. It's Express Club for $9.95. I guarantee when people come in, they want a cheaper rate than $9.95. It makes no sense to me, but everybody wants a deal. So we incorporate our deal into the sheet here. So I'm going to go over this price sheet now as if you were a customer. So if I came back to the front desk, I would simply pull out the sheet and say, I want to go over our rates with you. Our basic month-to-month membership is going to include everything I showed you out here. Your classes, your 24-hour access, you name it, you pretty well have it on that. You're only going to pay $75 for your enrollment fee, and your monthly payment's only $44.95 a month. Now, that is a membership that you can cancel anytime you want with a 30-day notice. So you're not locked in any term at all. Now, this is our most popular membership below that, though. This is one that most people do, and the reason why they get a discount. Now, we offer you a discount because you're going to be willing to commit for a year with us. So when you move from the month-to-month to a 1 year, instead of paying $75, we're going to discount your joining fee to only $55. And your monthly payment is going to drop all the way to $34.95 a month. And again, that's going to include everything out here. So all your group classes, all the everything on the floor, the 24-hour access. In other words, there's no added charge. A lot of clubs give you a cheap rate and they add everything onto it. You're going to get everything for that price. Now down here, if someone wants to save even more money, if they want to pay in full, they can do a pay in full membership. And the way that's going to work right there, when they pay in full, it's going to drop another $5 a month off their membership. And so basically they're going to get it for $29.95 a month. They're not going to have any joining fee at all. They're going to have a $20 key card fee. So for someone who wants to get that rate, again, some people want to choose not to be billed. It gives them a discount for doing that. Down here is a program that's pretty popular with people. You know, everybody's looking for that perfect workout partner. This entitles you to be able to get that workout partner at a discounted rate. And the reason why we do that, it's so hard to set up a corporate rate anymore where you maybe get 10 people to join to get that discount. So we started doing, several years back, we started doing It Takes Two, which means all you got to do is find one motivated people beside yourself, and then when that person joins with you, you're going to split that joining fee. So instead of paying $55 to join on a 1 year agreement, you're going to pay $27.50 a piece to join, and your monthly payment is going to drop to $29.95. In other words, that's the same price you'd pay if you paid in full, but you're getting to be able to finance that out over the year because you signed up with someone else. I do want to show you this right here. This gives you the add-ons if you want to add on a family member. As long as the kids are between 14 and 21, they can add on to your membership for $19.95 more a month. If you have a spouse, they're $19.95. So everybody after the first person gets a discount for adding onto that membership. There's also a membership that's pretty popular here called the Executive Membership. Now what that is basically is an unlimited guest membership, meaning our guest privileges on our regular memberships really allow you to bring a different guest every time you come in, but that one guest is allowed one time, or they can do a week free pass on behalf of you. But this executive membership, the way it works is you can bring the same guest every time or a different guest every time. As long as they're in staffed hours, it's only going to cost you $10 a month to do so. So some people like that, just where they can bring a guest every time they come in. And that pretty well kind of shows you all the different memberships we have. So at this point right here, which one of those finds is probably better for you at this time? Now, once you tell them that, here's the thing. If they don't have one that they're like right now, or they just had to think about it, the biggest thing we're looking for, not necessarily to sign a membership on day one, but what we want to do is get them in here to try everything out. So I don't care if they make the decision to join here, because I know there's a lot of competitors. What I want is them to do one of two things. Either join if they want to, or do a week free pass. So we have to remember, offer the week free pass, because when we offer that, it gets them off the market for a week, allows them to see what we're about. Is the club clean every day? Is the atmosphere good? Is the staff friendly? Is the members friendly? What's the equipment feel like? In other words, if you're going to join somewhere you plan on coming, So why not offer them a free pass? So again, it's not so important we sign them on day one. We don't want to discourage them now again if they're signed on day one, but we want them to also be aware that if they don't sign up on day one, we're going to get them on a free pass. Either way they go, we want to make sure that member's taken care of or that guest is taken care of. So we do what we call an orientation session. The orientation session is set up after they either join or do the pass if they want it. And what we do is we set them an appointment for an orientation, which means they're going to come in with a trainer. The trainer's going to go through a circuit with them. They're going to do their workout card, their sittings, adjustments, the whole 9 yards, so that person's very comfortable in their workout. So again, remember when you price the sheet out that we have a lot of things that other clubs don't offer, and we want to let them know about that. That way they're comparing apples to apples. And so anyway, so that's how we pretty well present a rate sheet. Okay, so the customer now has decided to join the gym, so we're going to look at what we're going to pull out. So down here, you're going to have your membership applications here. The first thing I'm going to pull out, I'm going to pull out a membership application. I'm going to pull a folder out. I'm going to come over here and get a membership card. So I'll have all this. Now, so when I get this all ready, now I'm going to pull out the waivers for insurance-wise. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to pull out this waiver here. I'm going to pull out this waiver here. I'm going to pull this. It's called a quality control questionnaire. That'll make sense to you what that's all about here shortly. So I'm going to get all that out. And then I've got one more thing I'm going to pull out here, which is called Earn While You Burn. So we'll have all these out. Now typically when we're signing somebody up, we want to get all this ready, and here's the reason why it's going to be that we want them to not be sitting around waiting while we fill the membership out. So typically once I have agreed upon which rate they decide to go on, what I'll do is I'll show them what I want them to do while I'm filling it out. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside just for a second, and I'm going to explain each one of these. Now typically I'm going to explain this one first, but it doesn't matter. But I'm just going to show them this, which is called Earn While You Burn. Now this is something that most clubs don't do, but it literally gives them a chance to either earn a cheaper discount when they renew, and it's simply done by how many people they bring out here. So an example of that, if they bring 3 guests through the year that join, instead of renewing it, they're $34.95, they actually renew at $24.95, they get a $10 discount. And so a lot of members like to take advantage of that. Now on the back side, what you'll do is have them put their name here, and then so they can choose to do the cheaper renewal, but if they're on a month-to-month, they're not going to have that. So they're going to have an option to get a free gift. It may be a t-shirt, a couple of smoothies, whatever we're doing at the time. So I'll have them do that, put their name on here. And then these two, I'm going to explain these. These are waivers. Now, the reason why these are so important is we're a 24-hour access club, so we're actually staffed certain hours, but we're non-staffed. During those non-staffed hours, no one under 18 is allowed in here. And so because of that, we have some rules that we have to go by. This first sheet, this waiver and release form, is from the insurance company. What it basically is doing, you're having them read each area. You want them to take the time, and all you're going to do is explain, hey, let's just say, hey, Cody, this is going to be your waiver that if you come during non-staffed hours, you're pretty well saying that you're going to be responsible for your own acts when you're lifting. If you do something careless, you're taking responsibility for yourself. So I need you to read down here and initial each one of these and sign at the bottom. And then on this one, this is basically a rule sheet of things I want to make sure that you understand. The biggest thing that we tell people on here is we do not allow guests during non-staffed hours. It's not because we're rude, it's because insurance doesn't cover them if they were to get injured. So this is going to also tell you some other things. One rule, for instance, if you're a man, you can't bench press without a spotter during non-staffed hours. Again, it's not because we're rude, it's because if you were to drop the bar on yourself and couldn't get out from under it, that wouldn't be a good deal. So you're allowed to say bench off a Smith machine or the hammer or an incline dumbbell press. You can do all that, you just can't bench press. The rest of it's kind of common sense as far as gym etiquette, as far as how you're taking care of equipment. So we want you to read down and make sure you understand that, and you'll sign and date that too. And then I'm going to go ahead, now Marcia is going to be demonstrating the actual sign the membership. So while she does that in a minute, I'm going to pretend like she's already done it. This will be another part of this video you're watching, but I'm going to show you what we do here. So on this sheet, the important part of this sheet is once they have signed up, we want to verify that we went through everything with them. So it's important that you make sure. Now, a lot of consultants will flip it over, let them fill it out. I like to fill it out myself, so I'm going to ask them. For instance, were you given a tour of the facility, and by who? In this case, it's me, Cody. Or were you told about picking up exercise class schedule? You want to make sure they know where the schedules are. You want to sign yes on it. Did your consultant explain procedures of the membership card? We want to make sure that they're understanding how the membership card works, how they scan in during staffed hours or non-staffed hours. And then it goes on down here on everything we're doing. Like, did they understand which membership they chose? If they did a month-to-month, they understand they can cancel anytime they want with a 30-day notice. But if they do a one-year commitment, they're understanding they chose the discount. Because they chose the discount, there's no cancellation fee unless you had a medical release from a doctor or you were moving and had proof of move. The rest of it is talking about, did we explain to you about personal training options? Did the consultant tell you about the prepaid card or card on file at our smoothie bar and stuff? That way you don't have to worry about bringing your wallet in. You can actually have it all set up. Were you told about rental lockers? Again, the reason why I like to go over all this myself is that I just haven't filled out. I want to make sure they understand they're comfortable with everything. Did they also explain that zero tolerance on people who sneak guests in, and the fact that they are fined $50 without questions? A lot of times if someone sneaks somebody in after that, they're not going to do it again. So I use a kid with the person that's signing up about that. But then we also want to ask them, hey, give me an opinion of the club when we toured through as far as cleanliness and atmosphere. Would you say excellent, good, or poor? We want to find out on that. And then when we get down here, how you doing? When we get down to here, we're going to tell them that most of our advertisement comes through word of mouth. And so because of that, we always are wanting to maybe get some references or referrals from you of some friends or family you want to give a free week pass to. If they give us the name, we'll call this person off for a free week pass. We promise them we're not going to bug them. We'll call them. If they're not interested, we just don't bug them again. But if they give us up to 5 names on the day one, then we're going to give them a free smoothie if we're doing that or whatever we're offering at that time. And then if they don't have anybody at all they want to do it, they just put a big NA for not available, and we tell them, hey, just bring a guest whenever you want to. They'll just have to have an ID and stuff, and they can come in, and then we'll have you sign and date that. So that would be pretty well the process of getting all signed up. After that, we're going to go ahead and show them how to scan in, which we're going to do in just a second.
All right, guys, we're going to start by pulling this box out. In the back, you have your symbol contract folder. All of these contracts have been made so that your numbers will go in and match for your opens, single, couples. You're also going to have your open single executive agreements. Every one of these should have the numbers that you need to follow in order to fill out your contract correctly. Some of them have been changed a little bit when we decided to go with a paid in full with a discounted amount, so just follow those. If you have any questions, you can always ask me. Also, you can double check yourself with what you know the policy is. So basically, when you're filling out a contract, what I want y'all to do is get in the habit of having a flow to it. Too many times we're going back and forth and then you've missed something. So whenever you're doing a contract, we're going to get a number, mark it off. That is going to be your agreement number. Make sure you mark that off so someone does not attempt to use it again. When we're filling out, make sure that you start on the top. Do not miss anything. Now we have a 24-hour. We're going to be doing a new contract. Do not forget to put on here your source of referral. Was it social media? We're going to say on this one, yes, they actually saw us on Facebook. These are very important. These are also very important for referrals by other members so that we can give them credit. You're going to go through what I want y'all to remember. There are parts of this contract that keep getting missed, whether it is your driver's license. I need a driver's license. A photo ID is what we need. Make sure that you go on here and put a correct address. One thing you need to make sure is that you're looking in it. A lot of times they're doing apartments. Links Drive is a Links apartment, and every time I get one, I never have an apartment number. Y'all got to make sure that you're keeping an eye on what else being filled out. Make sure that you look over this and it is all filled out. So we're going to go with everything is filled out. Just put some numbers in here, make sure that you've gotten all of the cell phone, for sure cell phone. we're going to make sure this is super important, and everybody tends to think that it's not. Main reason for emergency contact is not financial. Most all of the time, what you're looking at is literally an emergency contact, which usually always goes back to a medical situation. We need to know who contact if we end up sending someone off in an ambulance for whatever reason. Basically, you want to make sure this is important as well. Some people don't think that they need to put their employer. We need to know that. Emails are very important as well, just because that is another source of the billing company getting a hold of the member if they do not contact them through a phone number or even through snail mail. Going down, get their name. Do not mark any box here if we are not using it. We are not doing executive on John Doe today. Do not even put anything on that box. I don't want an X, I don't want a mark through anything. Just leave it blank. We are doing a 12-month contract. Extension privilege, mark it. Your renewal statement, so we're going to basically keep everything filled in. Make sure these are legible. Don't get all scribbly. Make sure that you are keeping it as close as you can into the blank and it's legible and pressed through, so that when they get their copy, they are getting everything that they need to see. This is where you put the discounted amount for their paid in full. So we have our monthly draft, our monthly coupon, and we are doing a paid in full discount for next year. Yearly club annual fee. Do not forget to get that. And inform them October the 15th, especially coming up as of the time we do this video, that it is coming up pretty quick. So we're gonna finish it off. Even if I'm going through this fast, it's still gonna be legible. We are doing the $55 enrollment fee. We are doing our $34.95 first month. I have the sample folder in here. You're going to go in. If you don't want to take the time, a lot of these by now you have actually already memorized what your numbers are. You're going to actually pull it up. I want to go to my single, and you have it here, but you don't want to pull out the sample folder. Make sure you're accurate with the calculator. And, oops, hold on. 55 plus 34.95, tax 97.37, 97.37. If this was a 5 or higher, the next number, you would round this up. But because it's a 0, 97.37 is what we will be collecting today. Now, we're at our taxed amount over here, $37.83 for 11 installments. Once again, $37.83 times 11 equals, that's what we are financing. That's what you're telling them. Plus, this is the best way to explain it. Basically, you're going to be getting your total number at the end of the contract will be paid out for them through a financing installment plan. So we're going to take $416.13. We're going to add what they paid today, and do not forget to add in your annual fee. So we've taken $416.13, $97.37 plus your $35. This is where you will be getting $548.50. I always explain to them at the end of the contract, that's how much they will have paid the gym on their first year. We have no percentage rate. We have no finance charge. Amount financed is always going to be your 11 installments. And then you're going to be your total of payments again. Once again, legible. We're very legible that they can see these numbers. In our promissory note, we're always going to drop down our 11 installment payments, what's being financed. That is taking out the annual fee. Today's date. Explaining to them that the promissory note is basically a legal binding contract, that they promise to pay the 11 additional payments of $37.83. And ask them, what day of the month do you want this due on? Some people like it a month from today, or they may say, I like to do all my bills on the 15th. So that's what we're going to do for John Doe today. Do not forget to put your signature on the bottom, and then X marks the spot for their signature. Because we have a short contract, now we're going into where we're going to get our payment information. Don't rush through these. If his name is shown on account, exactly how it is shown on the account, because I have to have that. You may have a preferred name, which is John, and then he may actually say, well, that's my middle name. I actually go by Adam John, and then that's what will need to be on the actual payment information, because that's how his account's set up. So you would have Adam John Doe. We do not want a debit card at all. If they know their information for their account, get that. Put your checking account, your savings account, your bank name. Remember, if it is a local bank, we have all the routing numbers. If they don't know the routing number, most people don't. We don't necessarily have to have that, but do get the bank name and then your account number and another signature. So now we have done our annual fee, our promissory note signature, and we have done a payment information signature on here. That is the right way to do a contract, so that when you go through it, you have not missed anything or trying to go back and basically see if you did miss something, which a lot of times y'all tend to not go back and look, especially on this information or at the top. So make sure you stay with a good movement across the contract.
Now explain it as if you were explaining to the client that just bought it, how you want them to explain it to that client.
So very similar to the way I just did explain some of it to y'all. So basically turning it around so they can see the contract. So when you do that, I have today's date. We're basically saying that you have 24-hour access. This is your source of referral. Information is correct on the top. We have John is our only member on this. Health Club Aerobics 24-hour access is available on this membership. An extension privilege is only available on our 12-month contracts. And this is usually going to be one of two things, medical or job related. So medically, if you cannot come in the gym for up to a month at a time, you will need to bring us a doctor's note that is letting us know that the doctor says you're under their care and they advise you not to use the gym for that month. And then they have to understand that not that they get to miss the payment, but that payment will be taken and then they will be given that month back at the end of the contract. A job-related situation is the exact same way. Usually it's going to be that we're sent out of town for training. That's about the only other way that they're usually going to have a job-related. Once again, employer note. So when John was out of town, further than 40 miles from the gym, could not utilize the gym, this date to this date, they make the payment. We actually extend the contract so that they do not miss that month. Renewal statement, today's date. We're actually going to lock you in for 12 payments at the $37.83, $42.83 if you chose a coupon, and then you will still get the discounted amount on a paid in full for your renewal by 9/20 of 23. Yearly club annual fee. This comes out October the 15th. One fee per contract, $35, and basically you have to understand that that is going to be a fee that you need to keep up with. That is not going to be forewarned, but this is one per contract. Today's date, the date your membership begins. 1 year from today it expires. We're not doing paid in full. Your one-time annual membership fee of $55, your enrollment fee, your first month of $34.95. Your tax amount today is $97.37 due. We're going to finance out $37.83 for 11 payments, that total being $416.13. At the end of the contract, you will have paid us $97.37, your $416.13, and your $35 annual fee for $548.50. No percentage rate, no finance charge. Amount finance $416.13. Total of payments $548.50. Promissory note is a legal binding contract that you are promising to pay out the 11 additional payments beginning on October the 15th for $37.83, total being $416.13, and basically you're in a binding contract. Promissory note, down at the bottom we're going to go down to your payment information. This is payment information you're authorizing us and our billing company to draft from the checking, savings, or a credit card in order to make these payments every month.
Okay, Connor, one last thing I want to tell you. I'm going to show you how to use a card, but I do want you to be aware that we have cameras all the way throughout here, which comes in really handy within 24-hour access. And also on these walls, back in the very back over here, you'll see a white box with a red button. These are alarms, panic alarms. If you ever have an issue, how you going? If you ever have an issue in here, like say maybe you just feel uncomfortable, you can push that alarm and notify the police and us immediately. So again, it's just a security, especially women. They like to know that they're being protected at all times. Now let me show you how, if you'll walk over here, anytime you come during staffed hours, you're going to scan this new card here. So you just scan it here, You'll wait for that beep, it'll pull you up. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get your picture today. So I'm gonna pull this up here. Now I'm gonna have you just look right in that camera right there for me. All right, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, give me a smile. 1, 2, 3, give me a smile. Perfect. Now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna show you how to use the outside door. So follow me this way here. Let me see that just for a second. Okay, so one thing I want you to remember here is like during the staffed hours, you're always gonna enter and exit out this door. This is gonna be magnetically locked. It's gonna reverse itself when we're not open. So during non-staffed hours, this is gonna be locked and you're gonna enter and exit out here. Like when you go out, you're just gonna push this red button here, it'll let you out. Now we always like to tell everybody this. I want you to kind of think about it. When you decide to check the club out, you didn't know we were open or closed, you just kind of went by the parking lot. So let's say it's a Sunday afternoon, the parking lot looks like this. If you were a person that was thinking about maybe coming and working out, you wouldn't know we weren't open. So what we always tell every member is they have to scan their own card. Now the reason why that, if you were, say, a Sunday afternoon, you may be coming up here to scan your card and someone may be coming up. If they don't know that we're not open, they're maybe just checking the club out to see if they like the club. So we always tell people if someone's coming up, if they don't have a card in their hand, if you don't mind, just point out and say, hey, are you coming to check the club out? Because they're not actually staffed right now. This is their staffed hour. That way no one tailgates and comes in behind you, okay? Now every member's told that. That way you'll know that they were told that as well. So they should have their card in their hand when they come up. When you do come in though, you're gonna take this right below here. You'll see that little light. You'll hear the beep and that'll let you in. Now it lets you in and that door stays unlocked for about 4 seconds. But remember in there we were talking about there's no guests during non-staffed hours. If someone tailgates you, you can be charged up to $50 for doing that. So we just want to make sure that doesn't happen, okay? And that's it.